Hi, how's it going? This is Resident of Collinwood back with my second and final video for tonight entitled The Vampires of Collinsport. Yes, I'm going to start with Barnabas first. Get the simplest out the way, right? Our buddy Barnabas was cursed in 1795 by his wife, the lovely Angelique Bouchard, played by Laura Parker. Um, Angelique was a witch, and literally she had magic powers. So she wants Barnabas to stay. So she grabs Sarah's doll and she poking pins in it. She's gonna aim. She's got one aimed at her heart, and she's gonna put it through there. Barnabas picks up a loaded flintlock pistol and fires in the shoulder. Yes, this still makes Barnabas the worst shot with a gun ever. Um, my God. Uh, I'm sorry, Barnabas. No. Um, Angelique curses him. A bat. She collapses. A bat comes crashing through the window. He's bitten. His sister dies. His mother dies. He kills his one former best friend, Nathan Forbes. Josette dies. There's a lot of death. There's a lot of death that Barnabas causes. Now, Angelique causes too. And Joshua, his father, finally chains him up. Okay, so he lays in the coffin. He gets out of the coffin in 1960s, and what happens, mind you? Well, what happens is he introduces himself to the family in the present day with all new clothes because Willie Loomis accidentally left his ass out. Our buddy Willie has the worst luck ever. I mean, here's a guy who got shot by the Collinsport Police Department so much. Let me put it this way: he's got so many holes in him. He makes Swiss cheese jealous. Okay, so you literally have Barnabas who kidnaps Maggie. Maggie finally gets out with the help of Barnabas's sister. So I'm not going to get into the whole discography, obviously, but that is the first vampire of Collinsport, if you will. Who's the second vampire? Now, keep in mind, not all these vampires are made into vampires by curses or other vampires. Some of them are just created out of magic. For the simplicity, Angelique is actually Angelique, after being sent to hell, as I mentioned in my last video, I was going to bring this up. Well, when she comes back, she doesn't have the dark-haired wig. Thank God. They Thor Parker's got her blonde hair back, but this time she's a vampire. And who is one of her victims? Tom Jennings, um, the other Jennings brother, um, who gets turned into a vampire. Now, here's the thing. I like both these vampires here. I like how Angelique bites him, and he's running around. He's going after Julia, and I really like Tom Jennings as a vampire. I like Don Briscoe's performance as a vampire. Eventually, he does get staked in heart and destroyed. Eventually, she just goes back to hell. And no, I'm not making that up. The vampire goes back to hell without being staked. Without being staked. I love it. Can you imagine? We're sending Angelique back to hell without killing her. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Oh my God. So, as I said, Don Briscoe's Tom Jennings gets staked. Who's the next vampire we see? Really, The next vampire we see again is Barnabas. He goes back to 1897 and becomes a vampire again. And when he comes back, he's working for the Leviathans, and eventually they do turn him into a vampire permanently for a long time. Anyway, now who's the vampire we well before he comes back? The next vampire we really see in 1897, other than Barnabas, is Dirk Wilkins. Dirk Wilkins is one of my favorite vampires in the series because he's so vicious. I mean, you talk about one of the most ruthless vampires on the show. He's it. I mean, look. Barnabas is ruthless too. He can be very, very ruthless and brutal, but Dirk Wilkins is just downright mean. I mean, he does not give two shits who he has to kill, maim, rip apart to get what he wants. Which he's not going to get what he wants. He wants Laura to come back, which that's not going to happen. Eventually, he gets staked and killed. Yes, Barnabas is a vampire in 1897. Angelique pulls a doppelganger move. They make everyone think they staked Barnabas when they really staked the fake. Um, yes, that's a legit thing. Um, Dark Shadows, you gotta love it. It's so good. It's criminal. And so Jonathan Frid is human again until he comes back to the 60s and starts working. Well, he runs into the Leviathan in 1897 too. So when he comes back, he's working for them. And eventually he double crosses them, and Jeb Hawks turns him into a vampire by releasing a vampire bat on him. This time he's a vampire for a long, long time. Which leads me to my favorite female vampire of all, Roxanne Drew. I love Roxanne. Uh, Simply, the reason I love Roxanne more than any other vampire, yes. Now here's the thing: Dirk Wilkins was bitten by Barnabas, so Barnabas is Dirk. The reason Dirk Wilkins exists is because of Barnabas. The reason Roxanne Drew exists is because of Barnabas. Barnabas is turning a lot of people in this series. It's all his fault, damn it. Um, the reason I love how they do Roxanne Drew is because they do it like a mystery. They have her in this black hood with this black shroud robe. I love this. This was really clever and smart to do this as a mystery. Who is the vampire? Where in the 1960s, you knew Barnabas was the vampire. You knew Tom, and even when Tom Jennings and Angelique are the vampire, you know they're the vampire. When Dirk Wilkins is the vampire, you know he's the vampire. He's with this, you don't know who's the vampire, and once you find out, you go, "Oh my God, it's Roxanne True." It was like, holy shit, that's shocking. And again, they really do this smart. They play it off smart. I think too, a lot of the telltale signs is how Roxanne is reacting with the person with Sebastian Shaw too, and how she's not hitting him sort of the way like Barnabas beat Willie, but she's very mean. She's not very nice to him, and she's very demoralized. She sort of demoralizes him. She's like, I don't care. So she verbally beats him down, not physically beats him. But we can't all be Barnabas, right? We can't all have a cane and just beat the hell out of our servants. And poor Willie was beaten, was shot, beaten some. I'm making the third one up, but he was beaten and shot. Put that on your resume, okay? Put that on any resume and see what kind of eyebrow looks you get. Like, what do you mean you were beaten and shot? We see my last boss really liked the night shift. Okay, he was very temperamental. I won't say what the rest I did. Did you? Oh my god! But he does. He really does a good job. Or sorry, she really does a good job. And the creators really do a good job of keeping her mystery. But I love the interaction with her and Sebastian Shaw, Christopher Pinnock. Again, really great performance. So those are your vampires of Collinsport. I think I got them all. I think I nailed everyone. I got everyone. I got Barnabas, Angelique, Tom, Barnabas again, uh, Dirk Wilkins, Roxander. Now, in House of Dark Shadows, about that, everybody, let's see, uh, Professor Stokes gets turned, Roger gets turned, Carolyn gets turned into a vampire. You know, that's one I sort of wish they would have did in the series. I know Carolyn worked for him. I sort of wish they would have made Carolyn a vampire. That would have been interesting to have Carolyn be a member of the undead. That would have really, really been interesting to see if they would have did that. What they would have did with her. They kill her. They kill Carolyn in the movie, unfortunately. No, the movie does. Now, to be clear, the movie does not connect with the series. It's its own thing. The movies, Dark Shadows, are their own thing. They're not canon with the series. Um, they have some of the same characters of the series. That's something I've explained before. Um, some of the characteristics are very similar, um, and there is that. And they are, to sort of be fair to wrap this up, they are taking a story from the series in House of Dark Shadows. So I hope you guys. Now, what happens with Roxandra? A funny thing about that, Roxandra. I almost forgot to mention this. Roxandra does get staked in 1840. Once Barnabas realizes he's the one who turned her. Because that was a different Barnabas that turned her. It wasn't our Barnabas. Oh no, he would never. Yes, he would. Um, Come on, he turns. He accidentally bite drains Dirk Wilkins of all his blood. Accidentally. How the hell? Can I ask a question? How do you accidentally drain someone of all their blood? Think about that. How do you accidentally do that? Do that accidentally? No one drains someone's blood accidentally. No one. God. Okay, guys. You guys have a great, great night. I'll see you later.